Hello and welcome to DM Prep. We're doing DM Prep. So when last we left off the players were in Yeenoghu. I gotta close my door. Players are in Yeenoghu. They were fighting a whole lot of things in a dream thing. They seem to be aware that this is a dream, but they also are operating under the assumption that if you die in the dream, you die in real life, which is actually accurate. That's a thing that's true. So I'm just gonna make this bigger and then drag this down because you don't need to be able to see that. All right. Yeah. So they're in Yeenoghu, and I'm just zooming everything in because I always forget to do that. So we're currently on event number 6. I don't know why they call it events. I wish they'd call it phases because that makes a lot more sense in my opinion. So they did the rest. They did the renewed assault. So the Bargura and the Dretches showed up. Then old Pack Lord showed up with his gnolls. The Vrock showed up, and that's already dead. I think the Bargura is just about dead. No, he's still got most of his health. Pack Lord's at about half, and the Dretches basically just don't even exist. So Yeenoghu, he's supposed to enter from the very west end. But if he did that, it would take him like 3 rounds just to get to them, which is really stupid because event 7 begins after 3 rounds of combat with him because his speed is only 50 feet. So say he started all the way over here. After 3 rounds, he would make it here. And yeah, he's got legendary actions which allow him to move his speed. So, you know, he could move 250 feet in a round, but number one, that uses all of his legendary actions. It's dumb for him to start so far. It was dumb for the Bargura to start so far. It's dumb for Yeenoghu to start so far. This map is just too big. And that might just be the mood right now. This art of Yeenoghu is like really underwhelming. Like, this looks proper demonic. Like, that's kind of terrifying. The scribbles in the darkness are kind of weird. He has a Harper pin. He has a... And... Oh, that's Order of the Gauntlet. What the fuck? Yeah, High Hall and Yeenoghu, just... The maps are just way too big. I wish I had treated this as if a square were 5 feet, which is what I did with High Hall. Because this is just absolutely hilariously oversized. But hindsight, 2020, etc. So not the end of the world. It's just if you're watching these to learn things for running your game, then use my hindsight and 5-foot squares. Yeah, there you go. Shadows is using hindsight to run them as 5-foot squares. But that's probably your hindsight. Aren't you running like 8 games? So yeah, like as written, this is kind of underwhelming. It's just gonna be they fight Yeenoghu for 3 rounds, and then Yeenoghu, and then Azuriel shows up, Zariel, whatever the hell, shows up with Lulu and a bunch of Hell Riders. Although they're not Hell Riders. They haven't gone to hell yet at this point in the history. That read aloud text just feels bad as a player. Like, I know this guy is CR 25, but I'm about 90% sure that, like, my players could take him. Also, this layout is garbage. Oh, that didn't help. Huzzah! Okay, cool. Just delete Yeenoghu. Just delete the art. Alright, so I want to... They can't take him yet. They just need a few more nat 20s. Honestly, with Abaddon, if Abaddon gets into melee range with this guy, he'll just melt. Even if he doesn't have nat 20s, even with his disadvantage, he's got a plus like 12 to hit or something. 20 AC is just not gonna stand up to it. Let's go my campaigns. BGDIA. Abaddon. Oh, actions. Yeah, he's got plus 12 to hit. And he's doing 2d6 plus 2d10 plus 8 per hit. So even with disadvantage, he's still got he needs a 9, so he's got a 55% chance to hit. Or he's got a 55% chance to hit generally. I'll put lowest one of 2d20 plus 12, at least 20, 42% chance with disadvantage. Not terrible. I don't even know if this is supposed to be an aspect, because he's not a god. He's just sort of a really powerful demon. But he's not in the abyss, so he doesn't give a shit if he dies. I'm honestly wondering like how not Knowles. Thought maybe there'd be a monsters know what they're doing for Yeenoghu, which would have been really, really useful, but oh well. The legendary actions, I mean, this guy does have a lot of damage output. He's got multi-attack. His flail's D12 plus 9, and then he does, extra bullshit. So the extra bullshit doesn't trigger on legendary. Bite attack against each creature within 10 feet of them. I mean, bites aren't... They're going to hit with a plus 16. His flail has a reach of 15 feet. That's kind of neat. Attack hits, strength save would be pushed 15 feet. Fails by 5 or more, falls prone. They're very likely going to fail by 5 or more because... Jesus. DC 24. Honestly, I think this guy is fairly simple. He's clearly not in his lair. There's no regional effects. If a creature goes mad in his lair or within sight of him, I don't think there's going to be much in the way of madness. This isn't that campaign. So he's resistant to cold, fire, and lightning. Lightning's not going to matter because the only one using it is Fulg, and he has the boon of irresistible offense. He's immune to poison. Okay, that probably won't matter. Immune to non-magical. Does not matter. Is there Yeenoghu in the new book? The Theros? Highly unlikely. I don't see any reason it would be. Is Zariel in Theros? I was under the impression that that was like a third-party supplement someone put out. Mythic monsters. I think you're talking about Mythic Zariel. Yeah, this just has a Rasta, Hythonia, and Tromocratus. This doesn't have Zariel. You're talking about Mythic monsters. No, Mythic. Well, shit. Because it literally came out like this past week. Because they wrote it in such a way that they could just immediately. No. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, so this is a DM's Guild thing, and they did make Zariel. Might be able to find her in here. Actually, let's see if I can just get to the table of contents. 106 pages. Zariel, yep, page 99. Zariel is a mythic encounter. But that means this guy has Yeenoghu. Right? Because he's, yep, here we go, mythic Yeenoghu. So Yeenoghu's kind of supposed to be a nothing. The players aren't supposed to kill him. They're supposed to survive against him for 3 rounds. I just don't see, like, if he actually starts laying into them, they're gonna have a heart. They're gonna feel it. Where's Folg? Folg's at least in the back, so he's not likely to just like start eating it. And Nixie, if I recall correctly, is up on the statue for some reason. I don't know why she's up there. And this is just where Azuriel and Lulu are supposed to pop in, and then the literally has Hell Rider. Like, they're not Hell Riders. That's a Storm Sphere. I'm gonna name that, because that might be important, and I might forget that. His aura is light. He decided to put. She's hiding. Yeah, it's possible. The riders of Eltergard are going to swoop in after 3 rounds. So the thing with this fight is it's not supposed to be the players actually defeat a Demon Lord. It's supposed to be they get stomped. But the thing is, he just does damage, and unless you do a ridiculous amount of damage to players all at once, they're not going to feel like they're up against a wall. Not to mention the fact that they have very, very, very little in the way of healing. Nixie has Cure Wounds, if I recall correctly, and her temp HP bot is probably going to be pumping out temp HP left and right. But other than that, it's just kind of, well, he's here, we need to survive, I hope the dice go good. I don't really want to spend too much time prepping Yeenoghu, because I don't think it's going to be particularly interesting in terms of, like, actually playing the game. It's combat for combat's sake. I kind of felt like the entirety of Yeenoghu was. The mood at the table last session was really low. I can't hear you over the sound of my temp HP bot pumping out temp HP. Part of the reason that the temp HP bot is so incredibly powerful is because of a homebrew change that I just decided to make to the Artificer. At Artillerist 9, all the damage rolls for your Eldritch Cannon increase by D8, but the temp HP from the Protector bot does not go up by D8 at level 9, and it's just like, well, that feels bad. So I just decided that also goes up at level 9, not realizing that that would also enable her to make sure that everyone has 21 temp HP anytime they have at least a minute to chill. I actually did the math that I think it's like 3 minutes of spamming it to guarantee that there's at least one roll of 16 on 2d8. On 1d8, it's literally 1 in 8 shot of getting 8, but on output 2d8, on 2d8, the odds of getting exactly 16 is 1.56%. So pretty low chances, and that's like 1 in 64. Anyway, so I really don't want to spend too much time prepping Yeenoghu. He hits people. He's going to cast Spiritual Weapon with a flail. What's funny is he gets it at will as an 8th level spell, which is hilarious. So I'm probably just going to like dot the entire fucking arena with flails, because he's never going to bother moving it. He's just going to cast it where he needs it every turn. So I'm going to get a flail token, because fuck it. No, I want an actual flail. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's got a flail. Oh, sick. 3-headed flail. Alright, so let's take this. We're going to make a token. Real quick, we're going to make a token. I know I've showed off how to make a token. Actually, have I? I don't know if I have. Well, if I haven't showed off how to make a token, you're about to learn. So I literally just went on the internet. I googled token border. And then I got this one image that I use all the time. So I got this flail image. We're going to drop a token border in it. We're going to do something cool where the flail is on top of the token, or on top of the border. So we're going to do this image, fit canvas to layers. That'll get everything in screen. Then we go on here, and we're just going to cut out bits of the flail. And what we cut out, I guess I don't need to cut that out. What we cut out will actually show up on top of the border. And then all we need to do is delete all of the things that we don't want showing up like behind the border, which is essentially just this handle. And we delete that, and then image, cropped content. Oh, something over here. Oh, there's a watermark. That's neat. And screw your watermark. Don't care. Oh, wrong layer. There we go. Good enough. There's still a watermark like right here. You can kind of see it here. But I'm not super concerned about it. I'll just delete a little bit more. If I were making art for something I'm going to sell, I'd care about watermarks, but as it stands, I'm just using this token for my game, so I don't. So cropped content, export as flail.ping. And then over to Roll20, and we'll upload that flail. Downloads flail.ping. Ta-da! That's a quick token. Nice and easy. Upload complete. So then, as soon as you cast Spiritual Weapon, bam, I got a flail. And if they want to see it, bam, I got a flail. Yeah, I don't know what that watermark says, but I'm not super concerned. I kind of think it would actually look better on a white background, so I'm going to do that real quick. I do. Like, it's just brown and gray, so it's getting lost. So let's go downloads, flail.ping, open, GIMP. New layer, fill with transparency, and then we're going to do a ellipse select. Right. GIMP is stupid and only lets you select from the corner instead of the middle. And then we're just going to use a bucket, fill it with white. Bam, now it's behind it. So usually I like to have my tokens be transparent, but because of how little filling there is in this token, I'm putting it on white so that you can actually see it against a colorful map. So we'll close that, and then I can... Token will be small enough to not see it. Yeah, the token will be small enough to not see the watermark, definitely. Unless, you know, until I go do this, and then you can kind of make it out a little bit. But yeah, there's a flail token. It's sticking out of the border a little bit, which is like makes it look dynamic or whatever. Makes it look kind of 3D. So he's going to toss those anytime he casts Spiritual Weapon, which will be as a bonus action on every single one of his fucking turns, which is probably 3 turns. And then Spiritual Weapon lasts a minute, non-con. So they're just going to like start dotting the area. So the only question is, do I want 3 rounds, or do I want 5 rounds, or do I think they'll act? I'm just going to do 3 rounds. I'm going to do it as written because I kind of want to just make them feel scared. Alternatively, what I could do is I could just end it as soon as either the 3 of them go down or like a round ends and the 2 of them go down. Yeah, I could play it by ear, and like the point of this is to scare them. End the phase when they are sufficiently scared, or if they start really winning. Yeah. basically. So phase 7 starts when phase 6 ends. Azuriel, Nulu with the statue, Knights north and southeast of the statue, and then Yale rides up to the PCs and thank them. And then among the riders, she recognizes quite a few people, including Alantheus, Haruman, and Jander. Yeah, make them shit themselves like, fuck, this could be a TPK. Yeah, exactly. And then Zariel can cast Resurrection up to 3 times. Is that horseshit? They got the total horseshit, right? Solars can't do that. Nope, they can. I lied. Alright, Solars can totally do that. So, yeah. So she can just, even if all 3 of them died, it'd be like, weep, weep, weep. I mean, you should probably use that on, like, I don't know, the priest who summoned you. She dead, though. A lot of people died in here. So that's not going to happen. So Yeenoghu's first turn, he's probably just going to dash forward. And that's going to be here. And then he will probably end up... Here, let me zoom out. So his first turn, he will dash forward. And then he's going to end up using some legendary actions to get into melee. So it looks like he's actually going to end up using 2 legendary actions and his entire first turn just to get into range. And then from there, you can actually start laying waste. I am going to have him just like swat the dretches aside as he's running. I'm literally just going to delete the dretches. I don't care about them. They're worthless. So he's going to swat them to the side, and they're just going to like splat against a wall and turn to ichor. No attack roll, just he's big, they're small, I don't care. Delete them. They're not going to meaningfully interact with combat because it would take them 4 rounds of dashing just to get into melee. 4 more rounds of dashing. They've already been here for 3 rounds. Like, yeah. They might have already been here for 4 rounds. I'm not sure. They've been here way too goddamn long for me to give a shit about them. So... Dretches are just going to die. Barlgora, Null Pack Lord, and Yeenoghu should be enough of a threat. Barlgora will probably die as soon as Abaddon gets a turn. Null Pack Lord will probably die as soon as Nixie gets a turn. So it's literally going to be the party versus Yeenoghu very, very, very quickly. I am going to make this name visible to everybody, just so everyone, just so they can see that name too. I don't know why. Zariel riding, followed by a golden furred mammoth with feathered wings. So no, she's not riding her. She's just kind of there. Woman walks up, or rides up, introduces herself as Yale. I'm going to do it as less like she rides up and introduces herself. No, it's gonna be like she rides up and, you know, and says, where, like, are there any other survivors? Something like she's going to assess the situation. I'm General Yale. Are there any other survivors? Yale. Yale. I hate that name because you have to be very careful to pronounce it. Otherwise, it just comes out as Yale. It's like, oh, you went to Yale. Yeah, they could recognize Haruman's voice. They'll probably recognize his armor too. Like I think the point was that Haruman and Alantheus had pretty. So like that's Haruman, that's Alantheus or something. I think. Alantheus. What's Alantheus' helmet look like? Oh, he's not even wearing a helmet as a Death Knight. General Y'all. Yeah. Yeah, I do not like her name. I should have changed it. But my idea is that the players will recognize Alantheus, Haruman, and Jander among the riders. And then it'll just be 2 that they don't recognize. In fact, I'm actually just going to delete the other 2, and then this group is literally only people they know. Because it would be just silly for there to be more. General Y'all, would you like some sweet tea? I need to stop reading chat out loud and interrupting myself. So Yeenoghu's just gonna dash, and dash and spiritual weapon. See, that kind of pisses me off. Actually, well, what I could do is I could actually, if he doesn't go first, he could actually use. Yeah, I might actually just fudge his initiative so he doesn't go first. So if he uses, like, if there are 2 turns in combat before his, he can use 2 legendary actions to get here, and then on his turn, he can just walk in, and then from there he can spiritual weapon and then fear. I actually like that a lot better. 30-foot cone. Ooh, 30-foot cone. So we double legendary action, walk, and then, okay, fear's not big enough. I thought fear was like a cube within range. So maybe it just goes invisible, because dashing up seems kind of stupid, especially since like he would actually be so far from Abaddon here that Abaddon actually can't even get to him. Savage is going to be devastating. It won't be, because I don't foresee Yeenoghu being in melee with more than just Abaddon. And after Abaddon goes down, Nixie, I would guess, would hop down from the statue to soak up some melee. Otherwise, Folg is just going to melt. But that's assuming that like any of that can happen in the first 3 rounds. So the first round of combat, Yeenoghu, legendary, yeah, each creature. But the Barlgura and the Pack Lord are just they're gonna die before Yeenoghu gets a chance to use it. Barlgura can easily die in a single hit from Abaddon. Null Pack Lord will probably die as soon as Nixie decides to target it, because it's already bloodied, or very nearly so. I don't see the Barlgura and the Pack Lord surviving past 1 turn. So at no point will Yeenoghu be in melee with more than 1 enemy. And then, you know, it's not even a fight anymore once Azuriel swoops down. So, like, that's the fight. That's the whole thing. Like, he's gonna legendary action to get into melee, and then he's just gonna spam legendary actions to, like, swat people away or bite people. Actually, he'll probably use swat. He doesn't have just, like, a flail attack, because he actually doesn't want to swat people away, because if he swats the only melee combatant away from him, yeah, bites 1d10 plus 9. Like, he's got plus 9 strength, but it's still only a d10 bite. I also don't really understand why it's a d12 flail. I really have no idea why it's a d12 flail. It should be a 3d8 flail, because it's a flail, it's d8, and he's huge, so it should be 3d8. It works exactly the same as, for instance, a fire giant, who is wielding a greatsword, which is 2d6, but he's huge, so he triples it to 6d6. So Yeenoghu should have multi-attack with 3d8 flail. But I guess they didn't want to do that. They could all start flying, at which point Yeenoghu can't do pretty much anything, because Abaddon can just fly on his own, and then Nixie could, in theory, twinned fly on her and Folg. And then they would all just be flying, and then he can't do jack shit about it. He really does not have any long-range options. He has spiritual weapons, so if they're less than 60 feet up, he can... He does have Dispel Magic, but that's all, yeah, it's 120 feet. They actually can't go more than 120 feet up, so yeah, he could actually just Dispel Magic. That would work. But again, like, that's taking his entire turn, and given that the goal here is to live for 3 rounds, like, they're gonna live. That's fine. Yeenoghu. That's Yeenoghu. All right. So the real problem is claiming the sword. And then Chapter 5, claiming the sword in Chapter 5. Like, those are the huge things. So my hope was that last session we would have finished Edelglen, but Jacob's had some real life shit to deal with, and you know, I can be frustrated at that. I'm frustrated at the situation. I'm not frustrated at Jacob's. I'm frustrated that we weren't able to get to the end of this scenario, because it really was only 3 rounds from ending, essentially, because I wanted to present them this choice. The hero becomes one with the blade and exists no longer. Which of you was brave enough to draw the blade and be gone forever? I wanted to present them with that and then like immediately end the session so that they would have to excuse me? Creatures in the scab. Does that just kill a buttload of players? No, they're not in the scab. They're in the citadel. That's why. Yeah, okay. It only affects creatures. Oh, so okay. Yeah, so that's creatures in the scab, not creatures in the citadel. So if you're in the citadel and not in the scab, you're fine. 1,000 feet away from the sword. So there was one thing. Promised Infernal Legion. Tried to give the Lord and Hells for fealty. I gave up my magic and memories. That's... You okay? So the one thing that I wanted to do is that after they left Yeenoghu, they found themselves back in the Citadel, Chamber of the Sword, and... Well, I love the broken JPEG. Oh my god. I deleted the wrong one. No. Okay. I deleted the wrong image, that's why. Alright, well, how big is this map? And then I'll just scale that thing to the right size. 3840 by 2160, that's literally just 4K resolution. Select, advanced, set dimensions, 3840 by 2160. And this is why I do prep, you know, before. Alright, cool. Fixed. Fixed forever. Hey man, I deleted it from my collection, not from the scene. I saw that there were two, so I deleted one of them, and I apparently deleted the wrong one. So the thing that I want to do here is, as soon as they come out of the memory, they're going to be battered and bloodied and broken and all that shit. One thing that I want to do is I want Bilbis to show up for the third and final time, and I kind of want Lulu to absolutely just stomp him because she will have the ability to turn into a mammoth at this point. So I'm just going to copy paste her here. So Lulu's going to turn into a mammoth and just immediately charge him. And it might be an interesting map. It might be an interesting fight. I don't know. Lulu's a mammoth, so that's neat. And then, and yeah, so Bilbis is riding an oversized Canoloth. Ooh, fancy. We've got Bilbis Lionbrave, as we've seen before. He's got a pair of Revenants. I don't know where he got them. I don't think it matters. Players aren't going to have an opportunity to ask him. He's going to... Yeah. Lagging out on. It's not me, is it? I'm only dropping 3.7% of my frames. Oh no, it's going up. It's going up a lot. Oh no. Oh, that's cool. I just fucking lost internet. Did my whole fucking computer lock up or some shit? Did I just lose internet? No. Hey babe, are you doing anything with the internet? Are you doing anything with the internet? No. That's cool. So I'm dropping 99% frames.
Oh shit, really? No.
And it's still working?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Looks like my internet has recovered, so that was annoying. For some reason I still can't send messages in Twitch chat. Like there's a send a message box, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't want to work. Alright, fuck. And KBPS 0. Seriously? I don't know if you can hear literally anything I'm saying. Seems that Twitch is having some kind of an outage. I'm dropping about 99% of all my frames. My bitrate is somewhere between 0 and 700 instead of the normal 4500. So I'm just going to end the stream right here. I'm already frustrated. I don't want to deal with this. At this point, what I need to prep is I need to prep Chapter 5. I need to read Chapter 5, like the entirety of Chapter 5, and just sort of learn what the book wants you to do with all of the ending. I don't know what my players are going to do, and that's kind of why I wanted to end the session after they got out of Yeenoghu, so that they could, like... so that I could, yeah, only dropping 3.7% of my frames. I wanted to end it after Yeenoghu so that I could figure out maybe a little bit